So I can't think of a better place to be today than right here, Coburg Peninsula, Victoria, BC. Such a beautiful spot. I just finished getting some groceries, buying some laurel bushes for my new hedge, and I'm here on my own, having just a lovely little bit of a time on my own for a bit of a break. Actually, I'm having my lunch now and just reflecting on all the things that I'm doing with the next little while, the garden, and getting the house ready for the plans we have for the rest of the summer. And oh yes, it's just all so beautiful and peaceful here. It isn't actually that hot. It's something like 20 degrees, which is nice. 20 degrees is as good as I want it to be. I don't think I could have it too much hotter, just because I like having it kind of on the cool side. And being right here, because this is in front of us is the Esquimalt Lagoon. Well, pardon me. Look back over there, that's the Esquimalt Harbor. There's the lighthouse, Port Rod. Right beside it to the left is a historical defense fort built in around the late 1800s. And then the lighthouse is directly, it's called Fiskard Lighthouse. It's built in the 1860s. It was the first lighthouse on the west coast of Canada to defend from all the threats coming from places like Russia and whatnot at the time. So looking over a bit further away is the tip of southern Vancouver Island on the east side. So looking on a map, that area directly in front of us would represent the James Bay Harbor entrance. And I can actually sort of hear something happening over there, like a big ship, maybe like a cruise ship is in port, maybe just sort of starting to pull out. It's way away, so you can't see it from here, but you can kind of hear stuff. And on the water, sounds kind of like bump around, bounce around. Don't really know from where. Oh, actually, maybe what we're listening or we can hear is over there. That is the ferry. That is the Coho, MV Coho from Port Angeles, which we were on last week. So that is probably what we can hear, although the sound is coming from my left rather than from my right. The sound bouncing, of course, off of the rocks on the right. So, and then to the immediate far right of my view is where I'm now looking directly at is I believe a container ship, which they're loading wood products from Port Angeles, because we noticed that they have a stockpile by the water of raw timber, which they probably process somewhere else, because there is no plywood mill or wood mill there. So they basically harvest wood and ship it from, no value added, of course, which is a pity. In other words, people of the area don't get to manufacture anything out of the wood because it's cut down and stockpiled. And that's one of the reasons why a lot of these areas don't really have a lot of work, because they, on one hand, it's good because the environment, doesn't suffer from the sawmills. But people, of course, lose jobs when they close mills down and relocate them. The wood probably is going directly to somewhere like Japan, or China. So then, right directly in front of me now is the range of mountains belonging to the Olympic Peninsula National Park in Washington, and that is part of the Hurricane Ridge system that we visited, and we couldn't see a thing from because it was completely fogged in, snowed in and whatnot. So this length of this peninsula that I'm looking at right now, from the southern point down there, in fact, I just have to mention also that Race Rocks is another lighthouse far down at that end, the headland that we're looking down at, but can't see it because it's so teensy from where we're standing. Unless we had binoculars, we could see it, and it would be, of course, a full-size lighthouse. You could see it at night, and you can actually make it out when you're standing way over in Victoria. You can see it at night, but you can't see it from here because we're sort of around the corner from it just slightly. This is the spot that I came to do the meteor shower watch last month, and of course didn't get anything because the sky was too bright even for 5 a.m. and of course they said from 4 to 6 that the sky would be dark enough, but it probably depends, you know, from where you're standing and whatnot, and it was just too bright here. This is the peninsula other side that I'm looking at, and this is a it's called the Esquimalt Lagoon, and beyond where those that boathouse is, you can see, make out kind of, it will be tiny on the screen, but you'll be able to see the Royal Roads Military College. Oh, pardon me, no, it's called Royal Roads University now, and it used to be called Hatley Castle before, when it was used as a residence by the Dunsmuir family. And that's about it. This is a lovely place to come for a walk. I love walking along here from one end of the peninsula to the other. It works out to be about 2 kilometers or something. So if I do round trip from there and back, it's really good. It's a really good hour's walk from one end to the other. This end here is less busy because the bathrooms are at the far end, way down there, which is where most people like to go, especially if they want to have a picnic. So I'm not going down there at this point. So I'm going to have a seat now. I'm going to sit down. This is my little table and my little chair that I take with me in the car everywhere that I go, so I can, at a moment's notice, I can enjoy a break. I don't like, this time of the year, I don't like eating inside of a restaurant. I like to eat outside. So I have my A&W treat, which is a chicken burger and water. Well, that's a nice light lunch. And I don't know if you can see in the car, but the front and the back seat is filled with my Portuguese laurels. I bought several of them, probably a dozen or so, and I have more at home. But the ones I have at home I bought earlier from the Home Depot. And the Home Depot that I bought at the mat, they were out of the Portuguese, and the Portuguese grow to be about 20 feet high, which is what I'm after. The other ones, I think they're Russian, they grow to be a mere 12 feet high. And my hope is that I can get 20 feet high hedges growing between me and our neighbor the neighbor who has been a constant source of I guess you could say, strain since they moved in last month. Unfortunately, everything that they don't want, they drop into our garden from their garden, and I really, you know, I'm not gonna deal with them. I just want to just sort of, you know, keep my side to myself, and hopefully they'll get the picture, they'll get the message by me not responding to their kind of like irritatingly irresponsible behavior. This is a good spot to watch sea lions, or what are they called? River otters, sea otters. And there's also what is, I don't know what they're called. Harbor seals, that's it. Not the sea lions, those are big whoppers. Harbor seals look really cute. They look like a dog with a happy face, but of course without the floppy ears. And they've got beautiful, big, expressive eyes and enormously soft, well, I'm sure they're not really soft, but they look so lovely and soft. These gorgeous whiskers, like, not cat whiskers, but a bit more rigid. But in any case, I love looking at them, and you can feed them in some places. They actually sell you food, but here, this is a park, and it's not private property, so a lot of private places like the Oak Bay Marina, you can actually buy food and feed them there, which they encouraged because it used to be Sealand of the Pacific and they closed down, so the sea lions who live there were probably from that time, which was in the